You picked up your phone today before you even got out of bed. You know you did. Maybe it was to check the time, or maybe your thumb just found the screen the way it always does, before your brain had a chance to say anything about it. And here's the strange part. You did not want to do that. Not really. Some part of you knows it is not good. You have probably told yourself you will stop, or cut back, or at least wait until after breakfast. But the phone wins. Every single time. Why? The easy answer is that the apps are designed to be addictive. And that is true. But it is not the whole story. Not even close. Because the companies that built those apps did not invent the feeling that pulls you toward the screen. They borrowed it from something so ancient it does not have a name yet. Something that was keeping your ancestors alive long before there were phones or cities or language. To understand why you cannot stop checking, you have to go back, way back, to a grassland in East Africa, roughly 200,000 years ago, where a version of you was trying not to get eaten. Your ancestor stood in tall grass. The wind moved. Something moved with it. And in that fraction of a second, before any conscious thought formed, the brain did something remarkable. It fired. It sent a signal that felt like urgency. Like dread mixed with excitement. Like you need to look at that right now. Neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp, who spent decades mapping the emotional systems of the mammalian brain, called this the seeking system. It is one of the oldest circuits in the brain. Older than language. Older than memory as you think of it. This system does not care about reward. It does not care about satisfaction. It is not designed to make you happy when you find something. It is designed to make you desperate to look. The looking itself is the reward, the anticipation, the not yet known. This is why a notification light blinks and your eyes snap toward it involuntarily. Your seeking system does not know that it is just a text from someone asking about weekend plans. It knows only that something changed in your environment. And in the savanna, something changing in your environment could mean food, or danger, or a person who needed you, or a person who was coming for you. You had to check. Not checking was how your ancestors died. The brain you're walking around with today is the same brain that survived that grassland. Evolution does not work on a 10-year update cycle. It works across tens of thousands of generations. And there has not been nearly enough time for natural selection to catch up with the smartphone. This is what psychologist Susan Weinschenk described when she connected dopamine not to the reward of finding something, but to the act of searching itself. Dopamine surges when you reach for your phone, not when you find something satisfying on it. The reaching is the hit. The scrolling is the hit. And because the reward is unpredictable, because sometimes you find something interesting and sometimes you find nothing, the system fires even harder. Behavioral psychologist B.F. Skinner demonstrated this in the middle of the 20th century with pigeons. He gave them a lever. Sometimes the lever produced food. Sometimes it produced nothing. The pigeons that received unpredictable rewards pressed the lever obsessively. Far more than pigeons who received food every single time they pressed it. Skinner called this a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. It is the same schedule used by slot machines. And it is the same schedule your phone operates on every single time you open it. You are the pigeon. The phone is the lever. And the engineers who built your apps absolutely know this. The notification, the red badge, the pull to refresh that might show something new or might show nothing, these are not accidents. They are ancient psychological mechanisms wrapped in glass and aluminum and handed to you with a terms of service agreement. But there is something even deeper happening. Something that goes beyond dopamine. Humans are a social species. More than almost any other creature on the planet, your survival across evolutionary history depended not on being the fastest or the strongest, but on staying connected to your group. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar, who proposed what became known as Dunbar's number, argued that the human brain evolved to track the social relationships of roughly 150 people. Not because 150 is a nice round number, because that was approximately the size of the social groups in which your ancestors lived and died. Knowing where you stood in that group, knowing who was angry with you, who was allied with you, who was talking about you behind your back, was not idle gossip. It was survival intelligence. Now your phone gives you access to the social status signals of thousands of people simultaneously. Every like on a post you made is a signal about where you stand. Every reply, every share, every silence when you expected a response. Your brain processes all of it the way it was designed to process social information from a tribe of 150 people who literally held your life in their hands. And so the checking never stops, because the social calculus never resolves. There's always another signal coming, always another data point about where you stand. Your brain is running software built for a world that no longer exists, on hardware that gets more powerful every year, in an environment that is perfectly calibrated to keep that software running at full speed forever. Researcher Larry Rosen, who has studied what he calls eye disorder, found that people check their phones an average of once every 15 minutes, even when they know nothing has arrived. The phantom buzz, the reflex reach, these are not signs of weakness. They are the surface expression of a system that evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to scan, to seek, to check. You were built to do this. You were just built to do it in a world that no longer exists. So what do you do with that? The first thing to understand is that fighting your phone is not actually a battle against technology. It is a battle against one of the oldest survival mechanisms in your biology, which means willpower alone is almost never enough. Telling yourself to just stop checking is like telling yourself to just stop flinching when something flies at your face. The system operates below the level of conscious decision. What works, according to the research, is restructuring the environment. Rosen found that scheduled phone check-ins, brief windows of time where checking is allowed and then closed, reduce anxiety better than blanket phone removal, because the brain knows the check is coming. The seeking system quiets when it knows the search is scheduled rather than constantly suppressed. What also works is redirecting the seeking system into something else entirely. Physical movement, a new skill, a creative project. The same ancient circuit that sends your hand to the phone can be aimed at a problem worth solving. It does not know the difference. It only knows the forward motion of looking for something. Because here is what no one tells you about your phone addiction. You are not weak. You are not distracted. You are not a victim of modern technology, failing some version of a self that was supposed to be more disciplined. You are the product of 200,000 years of evolution. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do, in exactly the situation your ancestors faced every day. Something might be out there. Something might have changed. Someone in your tribe might need you, or be talking about you, or be gone. You have to check. You have always had to check. The only difference is that now, when you reach for that answer in the tall grass, what you find is not a predator or an ally or a shift in the wind. You find a notification from an app you downloaded 18 months ago and forgot about. And your brain, 200,000 years old and still desperately trying to keep you alive, treats it exactly the same way. Tonight, when you pick up your phone without meaning to, you will know what is really happening. Not distraction, not weakness. Just an ancient brain doing the only thing it has ever known how to do, searching for what might be out there, just like it always has.